Welcome to another episode of the Bytes and Beats podcast. Of course, you can tell it's a little bit different this time around. But part of the reason being that, Satan just wanted to more or less get it out of the way in terms of just being audible and not a case of very much visuals. I'm not worrying too much about visuals and all them little weird and thing. Alright, so decided to opt for the more audible route this time around and thing without it being too much of a problem. Part of the reason being, of course, we are big people who have responsibilities and thing, and so not all the time the situation will work out perfect to our situation. And so, if you're watching on YouTube, as you can see, we just did it in a more visualized way instead of seeing my face, as you can see. If you're on the various podcast platforms, whether Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we're used to this by now, so give thanks nonetheless for support. But yeah, let's get into today's topic. And of course, that's the Redbull Culture Class 2024 review. Alright, now, big disclaimer for one, I enjoyed myself. Alright, and of course, these opinions, rightfully my opinions, no one else's. I have my notes and all these wonderful things. I have my notes in front of me. Alright. Yeah, I'm hoping to make this as concise and to the point as possible. Alright, hopefully I don't end up ranting too much on a particular topic or situation. So, yeah. So, the event was slated to start 8 p.m. Alright, and of course, in true Jamaican fashion, that did not happen, but partially because of the rain still. Alright, we had heavy rains from in the day on Saturday and, one Friday, sorry. And, that caused a lot of delays for things. When it did really get underway still, what happened, start about 10 o'clock. And, early vibes juggling, DJ Narity and DJ Insanio was emceeing for him. And then a little later on, after Narity was playing, then Juggling Masters, which of course is Insanio and JJ, the whole vibe with the crowd and thing. And as I said, because of the rain, a lot of patrons took a while to come and all that jazz, isn't it? But the event eventually got underway in terms of the actual proceedings, in terms of the competition itself. So you had the first round, which was what they call temperature rising, which basically is just a matter of hyping up the crowd and making the crews know, or making the people know that the crews are here, kind of thing. So, they weren't scoring any points for that or anything like that. So there's that. Alright, every round after that, it was points going to be given respectfully. So yeah, so the first round, as I said, temperature rising. The crews, just to remind you all of who they were: London Crew, Jamaica Wi Seh, Big Bad Soca, and MadHouse Experience. They went in that order for the first round. Right, and I believe for the first round, London Crew, they kept it adequately together. Right. Some parts could use a bit of improvement in terms of transitioning and, of course, crowd interaction. Right, but they kept it adequately together, as I said. Jamaica Wi Seh represented exceptionally well. Right, and of course, this included Bangkok, Chris Diamond, Chrome, TC, and of course, they're being led by DJ Frass. Big Bad Soca definitely represented the genre well, right? And I mean, they managed their time quite well. I can't give them that from now, right? In every round that they played, they managed their time well. They finished just a little bit shy of the time and things. So, unlike the other teams who had to be called to end them set, Big Bad Soca definitely stuck to the time. Right. And MadHouse Experience, though, for the first round, they represented well as an all-rounder type of thing. Because, of course, they played a good amount of everything just to make sure that people them definitely know that they were here. The second round now, we started with London Crew again. Alright, and as I said, the first thing is that for one, they went overtime. They had a few guest appearances, and of course, Steph London actually came out and, gave a live performance in a general sense. Some of the guest appearances for their first set was Stark Ashley, and I think, no, that artist didn't come out, it must be third set, but Stark Ashley definitely stood out for me. Of course, if you know me, say I'm a real Starky fan from day one, so easy. All right, that's one of the things there. All right, then of course, we had Jamaica Wi Seh. All right. Of course, they started throwing jabs from early, I think. But, that's one of the things there. Will come with territory. So, they were playing the set. You hear the want. They brought out Debbie Burp. They brought out Capleton. They Big Up Carter, who was in the crowd, actually sitting closer to their stage than other stages. Alright, and all in all, a solid set, you see me? Alright. So, definitely have to give them that. Big Bad Soca. Now, listen to me. When I tell you that Soca is one of those genres that, as I said in my first podcast episode, that you shouldn't really underrate, this is what I meant, because their set was timely, on point, right? And they had very solid dubs. Alright, they never hack up themselves too much or anything like that. They play some wicked dub. I bash the other team them. Of course, you have to big up much Bungie, right, for his dub, cause that's how they started the set, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's how they started the set with the Bungie dub. They just went into it. I mean, serious work, serious work, MadHouse Experience, no. I was a bit confused for the second round, because they play for the girls. Sham did live performances and, voice couple dubs, live, that is. But then they had this thing in the initial instance of their set where they were doing like a Sidem versus Shorty type of clash, which sort of threw me off. I don't know if it threw off anybody else, but it definitely threw me off in terms of what exactly was going on. But yeah, on and all, they did a fairly good set. Alright, I'll give them that. Alright, but the Sidem Shorty clash thing was a bit weird for me. Alright? But yeah, moving on to the third round though, like, this is where they did a bit of genre switching. So, for example, they started with Big Bad Soca and they gave them dancehall instead of soca. Alright? And my commentator's movement from no, and for some excellent juggling. Excellent juggling. Like, if you remember me talking about them in the first episode, you can say how them have clash history, for one. After two, based on that, them definitely take them time and understand dancehall and what it requires of them in terms of, playing it on a general basis, right? The tactical thing that Big Bad Soca did that I appreciate and have to give them respect for is that brought out JR from Chromatic. Alright, now, the thing about it, JR is definitely one of those reputable MCs, right, where know the culture and the fact that them bring him out to support them and basically, lead the charge in terms of MC, because he MC'd that entire set for the most part. Probably like one and two little talk from Aaron every now and again, but JR for the most part was talking. So that was a good look. And of course, naturally, JR finds some things for comment about, like, especially how London crew was operating, because, as I said, in their first round, they were sort of inconsistent and thing. But they kept it together in the first round, I'll give them that. But you could tell that, going forward, they sort of were a bit more disorganized and thing. But he voiced that concern publicly and all that. And of course, the interesting way for them to end them set, though, was playing Last Man Standing by Cartel. And I must admit that was very smart, very well done. You understand? Now, after Big Bad Soca performed in the third round, surprisingly enough, Noah Power, who was the host for the night, actually came back to the people and were saying, yo, police attack about profanity warning and all that. Alright, no. To begin with, if you remember my first episode, I was saying that they wouldn't have gotten an authentic Clash experience because, with all due respect to profanities, it adds a level of energy to the crowd and to the event itself. But to hear the warning after profanities have been flying since the first round, it was surprising. But, more or less, it's just a matter of saying they wanted to dial them back a bit, which of course, it seems that the DJs respectfully did going forward. Now, on to MadHouse Experience. MadHouse Experience got hip-hop, and interestingly enough, I was expecting a lot more from that set because, for one, the lineup of DJs that are on the cruise, I think, is important to bear in mind. You have Colin Hines, you have Game Changers, and so I was thinking that if it's MadHouse Experience a shoot, then, then go give it some old school hip-hop and all that. I think the overall set fell flat, to be fair, right? But they did come in strong with a lot of remixes and things, right? And I think the highlight for me for that set was the fact that Colin Hines was playing, right? Because, apart from on radio, not a lot of times you get to see Colin Hines play unless you really go to away if you go to those events that he's playing at, right? And thing. So that was something I could rightfully appreciate. Let me say. Colin Hines, big up yourself. See me? Big up yourself. But yeah, moving on to Jamaica Wi Seh though, because, they did a cross-pattern type of things so people are run from that station, But yeah, Jamaica Wi Seh got soca. Alright, now, if anybody knows Chrome well, alright, we know that Chrome is more known for dancehall and hip-hop and thing. But I can sort of interject this point from now, or one of my takeaways from the whole thing. You definitely have to be prepared, especially in a situation where I believe they knew all of these things beforehand, before the competition and all that. You have time to prepare properly and all that. And it showed definitely in this set because, for one, Chris Diamond insured Holiday. That's how I said, boss, I'm not going to work today. One of the baddest insured I have heard in a good while. Part of it being that big up Cartel, and he mentioned something that Cartel has been doing since he's been out, Emma, give him money and all that, and buy people stuff and all that, make away that thing. And it just went into that song nicely because, of course, you must say, yo, Cartel do this for a lot of people and that for a lot of people, and of course, people who get a benefit from it, they have to call them boss off from the night before and tell them, and then of course, song drop and all that. But Chroma shoot, and thing, and they just kept it going. Steph Landon got a face trainer this from TC. Them play Bicycle Red, of course, one of Carter's biggest soca song. Them, they play Like a Boss, Machine Montana. They played a classic, We Know What, Chichi Man. And the place was just rocking. Because everything was consistent and going smoothly. The interesting thing for me, which of course even Chris Diamond pointed it out, he couldn't understand how is it that the soca team allowed him to play Hard Fit before they did. And I was thinking that would of course be one of their strongest songs to come out because, for one, Hard Fit is one of them songs where everybody know, even if you not like soca, everybody know that song. They got the opportunity, they play it. They even did some crowd interaction where Chris Diamond called up a lady onto the station, of course. I'll play for a girl, roly poly, but she wasn't having it too tough because she was just there to enjoy herself and thing. But isn't me? And of course, the end they said with run with it, yeah. Which of course I thought was a wide idea because people had to now go to the other stage, so might as well send them off in that regard and thing. But yeah, all in all, a great six for the third round and thing. Oh, by the way, before I forget, as of the second round, they were starting to give out points. Jamaica Wi Seh got the second round first point. Alright, and I'll tell you we'll get the third point, the next point after we talk about London Crew for the third round. Alright. Now, as I said, from the second round, it seems like they were a bit disorganized going forward. Alright, because for one, London Crew got soca. Alright. And the strange thing about that is that they had Fireman on the team. Alright, and Fireman is well known in the soca spaces. Because he's worked with the likes of Lendy, Franco, and I think even Cryptic plays soca from time to time, and he's working with Cryptic as well. Alright, so I don't know why they took it upon himself to not have him MC for that set. Not to mention they have Code Lang shooting. Alright, so the fact that they had Code Lang and Fireman, I think that would have been the better approach. Aside from that, there are a few things that flopped. For one, and of course, remember this is my opinion. For one, let me start with this. They got soca to play, and for some strange reason, they ended up playing soca and then just going into hip hop all of a sudden. But the things that flopped for me was the Rather Wild dub. I don't know how it came across the way it came across. They tried to do a 16 chopper jump. Of course, 16 chopper, and so that flopped. But to try and save face in the last part of things, they ended up playing a Cartel remix, hip hop again. But the problem, of course, as I said, is that they got soca to play. Alright. So on that note, especially when Noah was talking to me like, London Crew, me give you soca for playing up play hip hop? Can't understand that. Alright. But of course, based on that though, the persons who were judging the program, judging the event, ended up disqualifying them for that round. But Jamaica Wi Seh won that round, and of course they were now 2 points up from everybody else. Now round 4 is definitely the round everybody was waiting on, because this is where now is strictly dubs and guest performance and all that. So so no 45 now play straight dubs. Unless, of course, as I say, you bring out guest artists. And being that Jamaica Wi Seh won the last round, they were sentenced to go first, so to speak. But yeah, the thing about it now is that, yes, so here's how we know, say, things get real serious. And what I can commend Jamaica Wi Seh from the first round, Chrome is behind the decks, Chrome shoot, Chrome play, Chrome make sure say everything is right. And of course, Banka and Chris Diamond worked exceptionally well as a duo of MCs. Right? They had a few hiccups, yes, but like detrimental kind of thing. Right? It's just maybe like one may have spoken while somebody else was talking, while that I was talking kind of thing. But the balance was found and them work and them get through it. Right? But they started it with a higher life dub from Cranium. Right? And they brought out guests, as Chris Diamond said, like a little Sumfest kind of vibe. And they brought out Munga, they brought out Baker, they brought out Little Addy. Armani came out and did this dub to London Crew, specifically DJ Mac and Baba. Alright, on the Fiesta rhythm, which of course is, if you know well enough, a Mac produced instrumental. Alright, Ding Dong came out and did Badman Forward and Watch Them, and Chrome step for around the turntables. And say Chrome step for around the turntables is a serious thing. But it only made sense given that he was introing a Gaza dub. Alright, and of course he got The Comet by Cartel Pandub. Remember, say Comet come out after Cartel come out of there. So that was unique in and of its own right. Interesting thing about that Comet dub though. Alright. If you happen to see any snippets from the event specifically for that, you realize it's a very smart dub in the sense that it only attacked the London crew and the Big Bad Soca crew, right? Which leads me rightfully to believe, and of course it goes without saying, Cartel have enough respect for MadHouse Experience and, who them be and who them stand for. So I'm not touch them, none at all. Literally, I was expecting to hear the MadHouse part, and then we're done, I'm out. But, pretty good dub. And of course, at the time when Chrome stepped out to introduce the dub, Scatter from Downsound Records came on, Downsound Entertainment, came on. I was actually playing tracks. And then Aishana came out. We gave them a live dub. And then after that, which of course would have made sense for Pretty Pretty to intro. Not Pretty Pretty, TC. She did the intro for bringing on Pretty Pretty to the stage, who did a live dub. And it's a kill sound, which means, of course, she attack a team, them same way and all that. Right? And all in all together, they had the crowd in them hands at this point, right? Because, lest I forget, one of the highlight guests that they brought out was Capleton. And say, Frank Capleton run out. It's a serious vibe, that's easy. But, good set, good collective of artists. I do believe I mentioned Little Addy as well, which of course Carter watching on, you could also say, it was a good look for the youth and all of that really. So yeah. After Jamaica Wi Seh, the MadHouse Experience. Now, all this naturally we would have expected, right? But so strangely enough, I don't know if it was technical issues or it's just a bit of disorganization or something, but they started 2 minutes after the set started, right? But nonetheless, them do them thing, right? Because for one, I think they brought almost like 4 or 5 artists in total, right? Or is it that in the fall? Let me check my notes real quick. I believe it was, it was 4 or 5 artists for this round, right? But how they did it for this round is that they had Tequila, they had Baby Sham, they had Beenie Man, and of course, I must say it's like anytime you see Baby Sham, Beenie Man, and Bounty Killer, Beenie and Bounty by themselves is one thing, but you say you add Sham to the mix, and you get a bad collection of hits, because crowd interaction from the artists they alone is one thing, because Beenie came out especially with Been Through Hills and Valleys, Loving in My Heart, and then Bounty come out friending them to me in, Beenie not begging them nothing, and then of course the back and forth Power 100 one thing was just cool, because the man them can freestyle most of them songs on any rhythm, right? So it was Bounty, Beenie Sham, Bounty, Beenie Sham, that type of thing. So 50 if I fast it, the like way, think I know them the like way and all them thing there, and then of course the unique way that Sada confirmed the set, is where What 21 come out and said the man them with them wanna go and just watch it up. And the place started lifting up half of the ground. And they concluded that set in time, to the point that they actually got a round of applause from the audience. Now let me tell you this. The fact say the set was so good that the audience applause has only been done by MadHouse Experience. In the 2 years that the event has been held in Jamaica, no other team has done that. You understand? No other team has done that. Cool. And I have given them respect and them props for doing exactly that. You see me? Now, on to the London crew. As I said, after the first round, it's like everything went out of whack, right? Because everything was either disorganized or just seemed to be lost at one point, right? Because for one, I believe that knowing that you're up next, right, and you have a choir coming onto the stage, it's not supposed to take you a couple minutes to set up everybody and all that, right? But when the choir started singing, Alright, it was like a church heathen style live dub. Alright. And that was a very nice instrument thing, which more or less, if you weren't listening properly, it would have been lost on you. Especially because of the confusion that was happening on stage. That caused people to just seem detracted from them in that regard. They started picked it up now when TOK came on to the stage, giving him a live dub for my crew, my dogs. And then as they're about to do footprints, a live dub footprints, the mix up Shaka just came up and it's like, him start the track and I tell him to give the people them one more song, which of course is what they were doing. Alright. And of course by now you would have seen the clip where Shaka and Craigie T had a little tussle there and all that. But it never really go far, too tough, thankfully. Alright. In terms of dubs, or other artists, Javilani came on, gave us a couple live dubs and thing. Alright. And of course, rightfully what I could call the biggest forward what them get for the night is on them call on Massacre for the Limelight dub and Tyrant dub. Alright. And it was well received for what it was. Alright. I believe if they were a little more organized and thing, and of course they would have had the crowd vibing from early, then the dubs would have been received a lot better. Alright. And then of course it would have not made sense for them to come from London and not get a dub from a London artist. Alright. I got a Central C dub and that sort of end the set, and it just went flat, give or take. Now, after round 3, MadHouse Experience won that round, and they had said that whoever won this round would have gotten 2 points. So now, there was a tie between MadHouse Experience and Jamaica Wi Seh. Alright. So, what happened after that is that they called for a sudden death round, which of course gave them 5 minutes of performance and whatever they wanted to do kind of thing. The thing about it is that at this point, for sure, everybody was like, all right, the 2 teams that would have been expected to be in the top 2 were in the top 2 for one. Right? And at this point, everybody was more or less seemingly leaning towards Jamaica, we say, being the victors of the night so far. Yeah. But of course, MadHouse Experience definitely took that 4th round with the oldies type of mashup type of vibe. Because as I said, they got a round of applause and that's never been done before. So it went without saying that if they didn't win that, something would have definitely been up. You understand? But yeah. So what happened now? As I said, sudden death round, 5 minutes each team gets to play and all that at day. And so, they went at it. MadHouse Experience started the round. And they got MadHouse Experience started the round. And they got Eddie G Bomber to perform. Did some live dumps, I think. One Brandon from Game Changers, a Cyclone from Copper Shot were MCing. Alright. And then Baby Sham came again, did some more dubs, and even gave us a This Is Why We Hot remix live performance. And of course, if you know This Is Why We Hot, I got my clips, don't give them for me, Alright, so that is what they are going for them for that Sunday. This set, give or take, was a bit low energy, and especially coming off of round 4, I think they would have probably tried to capitalize and sort of continue on the oldies energy that they had. But it was a good approach to try to step it up to something more modern to sort of get back with the crowd and all that. But Jamaica Wi Seh, definitely came back out and just did the thing, definitely just punch it from start to beginning. So of course, first thing they started with, Chrome go with a Cartel dub from Brooklyn this month from 90. Alright, then they bring in some Conic Laws, Party Vibes, Who Can Diss My Dogs, I'll Survive. And of course, more dubs, When Bad Man, Chrome dub. And them course, them chase we like them knees, we're with me. And then of course the song that of course may have thrown everything into chaos at the end of everything. I'll say that in a moment though. Alright. But there was a song that started throw everything into chaos. Alright, but aside from that, you had High School Leo coming out, giving a live come down dub, you know. What if we come down? No, yeah. Alright. And of course, it wouldn't be a Jamaican event, give or take, if they never play Swear to Jah. Even if it was just the intro. But I could tell you, I'm a big yard. Play that, end the set. Alright. And of course, as I said, there was a song that was played earlier. Alright, which of course is what threw the entire Sunday match into chaos afterward. The cartel, my place or my place, your place or your place, was a song that was played earlier in one of the sets. I don't remember exactly which set it is, so that's part of why I didn't mention it until now. Alright, but it was definitely played earlier. Alright, and so when it came time for the results to come on, Noah Paul first of all started by saying, listen to me, it's not me, it's the people who are judging say how it should go. And based on the fact that the song was played already, alright, because I mean when the song played, I looked across to Noah Paul just in time to see the personnel coming up to the stage to confirm a few things real quick. Cause I guess maybe by then the monitors may have had some issues or something, because I didn't see that person all the time until that moment. But it disqualified Jamaica Wi Seh, and therefore handing MadHouse Experience the win for the 2024 Culture Clash. Here's the problem I have with that though. Rightfully so, at the initial instance of the sudden that they said, play anything. Alright. But of course, I think if they had said play anything, but remember that the previous rules are still enforced, then there may have been that light bulb moment in Jamaica Wi Seh's head when them go my place to my place. Alright. And so I guess that may be the thin line between what was said and what was done. You know, they say do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. So there is that to the whole thing. Yeah. But yeah, that was more or less Redbull Culture Clash 2024. I think that the reality of the situation is such that, you know, I'm surprised that it ended up happening the way it did, because if you look at how 2019 staging ended, right, even if you're supposed to officially rank the team, you realize that literally a repeat of 2019 happened this year, right? So, the niche team for 2019 was Romeich Entertainment. They dropped out from early. Same way with London Crew, they came. I mean, everybody would probably voice the opinion that they came last. All right, similarly. All right, the Soca team came in third. Similar here, the Soca team more or less would be considered third. And I don't think there was a sudden death in the 2019 one, but the fact of the matter is, similar to how there was a song that was played back by Jamaica Wi Seh, in 2019, Strike Force actually played back a song they said. Alright, I'm still yet to confirm that, I'll be honest with you, because even listening back to the audio, I still don't recall hearing which song they played that was played back, you know. But yeah, in this case, Jamaica Wi Seh play back a song, and that is sort of what took the Culture Clash trophy from them, right? And thus giving MadHouse Experience, similar to when Strike Force did that and gave Do It For The Culture the win. Right. Now, rightfully the people that have them rules and laws in place and all of that, and who knows what other deciding factors they may have used. But if you ask majority of people, if we're being fair, a majority of people would have said that, yo, Jamaica Wi Seh, them win it. Right. I even Frost the other day when he was, just reviewing and all of that, was basically saying the same thing. Say, yo, they won. You just say, for whatever reason, Red Bull may not have given it to them. Alright, and of course, that is just what I saw. I may be inaccurate in that statement, so don't quote me exactly on that. But the fact of the matter still stands. Say, at the end of the day, the people who run the show, more or less, see the playback or hear the playback, give her take, and say, MadHouse Experience get it because Jamaica Wi Seh playback as well. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and, we're going to take a quick break. And then I'm going to come back and talk about some things that I've gained in terms of knowledge from the event, alright, based on what I saw. Alright, so go pay some bills and get back to you. Alright, so you're probably enjoying the show so far, and I appreciate you for being here, most definitely. Alright, once again, if you're looking to sponsor the show, or even just give your support, alright, in any way, shape, or form apart from subscribing and liking, which I hope you've been doing, you can go ahead and hit me up at bytesandbeatspodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's bytesandbeatspodcast@gmail.com. Once I get the email, we'll go ahead and start the discussion from there. Alright, but in the meantime, if you haven't subscribed it, subscribe. If you haven't shared it with somebody, share it with somebody. And of course, rightfully so, as I would believe, if you like the content, I'm going to ask you to like the content by pressing that button, whichever button it is, whether it is a like on YouTube or whatever is equivalent to a like on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You see me? Or any other platforms that you're listening to this. Alright? So, as I said, bytesandbeatspodcast@gmail.com if you want to support outside of the like, share, and subscribe. Alright, and we'll start the discussion from there. Cool? Let's get back to the show. Alright, welcome back to the show. Alright, once again, just follow the instructions in the small advert break that we took. Alright, and definitely looking forward to the continued support. First of all, before I even continue based on that point, give thanks for everybody who has been supporting the podcast from the first episode. Shout out to everybody who said something to me in person or even, in the comments section. Appreciate you guys wholeheartedly. Definitely want to continue doing this. I tried to see if I can incorporate both music and tech in an episode, but rightfully based on what has been happening, guys, come on. You have to understand why tech and music sort of separate a little bit for now. Alright? But yeah, all I really want to do show is half and half, tech in one section, music in the next. But no stress. After this episode, I guess we're probably going to get that sort of balance and thing. Alright? Get subscribed if you haven't already, and just keep up to date with what I'm going. You see? Alright, so as I mentioned, I want to just talk about a few takeaways from the event itself, at least for me. Alright, and I think it's something that DJs in general should really and truly try to incorporate. And it's not specific only to DJs in the sense that, because the event was more DJ related, people can still get some sort of insight from what I'm about to say as well. Alright, just relate it to your field and it should be good. Cool. So the first thing, rightfully so, is that, look, you see, anytime you know about a particular type of event and the nature of the event, make sure so you do your research rightfully. Alright, not only in terms of what you're going to play or what you're going to utilize in the execution of your sets, but in terms of the history of the program, the history of the event, because the reality of the situation is this. You see, especially if you listen to any of the audio from 2019, you'll get a better sense of how the program actually works, and then you can sort of formulate a plan around that. You also have to bear in mind, secondly, that this event caters to a wide variety of people, and so, knowing your crowd and working your limitations to accommodate everybody in a good way is always a good approach to things, as much as it might seem like, have to be very rigid in terms of what you play and what you talk, say, and all them liquid. Just bear that in mind, rightfully so, right? Because you never know how easy it is for you to win the crowd just by playing, probably um one older song like all that old Beenie versus that new hype song will easily go get a forward from people. Right. Um Importantly, in terms of like dubs and thing, and for this of course is my third point now. You have to definitely be able to talk to the artist in terms of really structuring it. And just to comment Chris Diamond, especially Chris Diamond has been known to write a lot of customs, as he call them, for code red. Right? And the customs are truly customs, right? Because, sentence structure, probably even if you look at it, maybe how the song is sung, maybe something that he looks at. And I mean, given that he has Lank and ZJ Rush, right, who have done a lot of remixes in terms of structuring songs and all that, you never know what actually is happening on the team. So that's the first thing. But just the arsenal of people on the team goes to show. And that, of course, rightfully leads to my fourth point. If you're working in a team, know your team. Rightfully so. Because, as I said, London Crew fell apart a lot of times. And I think it was mainly because they weren't collectively working together as a team. Right? Because, as I said, for the third round, where they got Soca to play and thing, Code Lank, Fireman. Easy. Big Bad Soca showed us exactly that. They didn't depend on Voice to MC a dancehall segment. Voice could have probably done it, but what they do? They call somebody who know the ropes of it. JR from Chromatic. And of course the set went exceptionally well. Right. I believe Munra and the other Britain, Bobby Killer from Taras Movement could have done it by themselves. But even so, they went out of the way and said, you know what? Make it be something that they work their strength on in terms of DJing, but they get somebody who actually can MC exceptionally well. Now, as I said, I'm just going off of what I could see and my interpretation of things. So for me, them just decide to do that because, it make it easier for everybody. Alright? But you never know until you decide at the end of the day, as your team, who do what, because you know your team well enough. Yeah? Another important thing from the entire thing is say, listen to me. So if you're a creative going to shoot these events, make sure you wear proper shoes, make sure you're well rested, and make sure you take your fitness seriously because the back are run up and down. We have to do at them event here. Jesus. Peace, man. Look. I commend all the media personnel for that night, all the people who were taking photos and taking videos and all that. And because trust me, it is a lot of work. And I definitely have to give up all of the commendations to you all in that regard. Of course, I have some content here for myself. Probably by this it hasn't been posted yet because I'm still working through it. And as I said, I have a lot of things doing. That's even why the podcast is how it is today. But nonetheless, as I said, it's just one of them things. But yeah, all in all, the Redbull Culture Clash experience was a good one. I have to say big up to the Redbull team. Big up to anybody who was saying, me have to do that. I mean, after the first episode, them say, they want to hear my opinions and feedback on it. And of course, here it is, as you listen to this entire thing. And so, yeah, definitely want to see what next week is going to bring in terms of music and tech. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you got some good insight, especially if you're a DJ listening, Just let me know if you're a DJ listening. Let me know where you're listening from. What's your favorite genre to play, that kind of thing. And get connected on all the other socials that I'm on. If you, of course, you want to follow me directly, that's Nassau _NASAAL. Alright, and of course you can follow Bytes and Beats podcast on X and on TikTok. Bytes and Beats podcast on TikTok and One Bytes and Beats on X. Alright, so for now, guys, until the next episode, y'all have a good week. Y'all enjoy yourselves as best as possible. Right, there are a lot of events coming up, especially now that we're transitioning into the soca season. Another important thing as well for anybody who likes to, well, I wouldn't say like to support, but truly support certain awarenesses, let's call it that. November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and of course, it's one of those serious illnesses that, for one, I don't even want to call it that illness, but the fact of the matter, it's one of those serious conditions that, definitely can restrict a person's livelihood. But, just be aware of it. Just be mindful of how to treat persons who have it, and, just rightfully just do what you can to give them their support. Rightfully so. All right? But yeah, until my next episode, guys, as I said, do enjoy your week, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. We're out.